Going live, going live. Finally. Good evening, I think. Evening and morning in other parts of the world. Welcome to Waking God's Child YouTube channel. I'm here with my co-host, Candy Nelson.
Hi.
We are coming to you, as always, live in a
And
podcast. And late, as always. And there's always technical difficulties. It doesn't matter where or when. It's always that way. So I'm going to apologize for just the nature of things, but I'm telling you, any other time this works. When you're talking about this kind of subject matter, it doesn't. And I mean, it just goes hand in hand. So with that said, we are going to be speaking tonight about Morgellons and the awakening, which actually goes with this in so many ways. Basically, we're trying to cover our bases here. So hi, Argo. I'm so sorry that you had to wait so long, and I hope that coffee was good. And can you please send me a cup, because that sounds pretty phenomenal right now. So I'm
like
still
that.
in Oregon, by the way. So I'm having to hold my hand up here, and I'm in my daughter's bedroom to do this. So, and we just got who is this? Hold on. Oh, duh. Even if I put these on, though, it's not helpful. And I'm doing this from my phone and not. Watch, I'll go poke your eye out. Kim. Hello, Kim Blanchard and Argo. So glad to have you guys here tonight. Right now we have 6 people in the chat and on the channel watching at the moment. We're going to kind of try to keep it a slower pace just for a moment, but then we're going to have to go full-fledged ahead because Candy's in Florida. She's on the East Coast and I'm on the West Coast, like quite literally. So she is 4 hours behind or ahead of me. So I am behind her.
No. We're only 1 hour apart from each other. You're Central Time. You're Central Time. I'm Eastern.
Oregon. It's 2 hours difference. So yeah. So it's 4 actually. So my apologies, but yeah. No, you're right. Central Time. We could deal with that, but yeah, this is. Wait, it's 2 hours in Central, right? Yeah. And I'm 2 more hours now because I flew west. So also over the cuckoo's nest. But all right. So Argo did. He said he brought the coffee over here. You didn't bring it over here, Argo. I'm just saying I don't see it anywhere. I don't smell it either, but
didn't get my cup either.
What's going on? Like, that was a little bit greedy. I'm just saying. Just kidding. So these glasses, I'm telling you, I can my vision is at a point, Candy, where I can see sometimes and sometimes I can't. And then sometimes the glasses help me read like the fine print, but then I can't see the faces on the chat or, on the video, I should say. I mean, it's called Morgellons eyeballs. So are any of you out there experiencing any issues with your vision on levels that you cannot explain? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, usually it's bad, and sometimes it's just confusing. Anyone at all? Yep. Just didn't think so. Just me. I'm just kidding.
No. I get eye goobers. I call them eye goobers because it's like sometimes I can just pull fibers out of my eye and it's just nonstop. And it's like, holy crap.
Consistent and constant all the time.
Right here, I've got like lesions right on this lower lid. So I've lost my eyelashes down here, but it's like embedded into my lid. And I'm like, I cannot get that thing out to save my life.
It seems like they go for the actual eyelid area, like the inner eyelid, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what
I saw where you and Sharon was talking about how y'all get attacked, like right here. I don't know if you see this, but I've got like this permanent lump right there. But years ago, it was as big as a dime. Yeah. But now it's just a little tiny knot there. So there's still something there, but it's just been like, at least it's not a goober.
With Morgellons, it's like they have deeply rooted tentacles. I don't know what you want to call it. It is the hardest thing to explain to people, but it seems like it always infects and afflicts they have certain areas that they like and they want to stay with and they want to cling to. Mine just so happens to be the third eye. So typically this is what I'm dealing with, is the right between my eyes. Looks like I got shot with a bullet there. This past week was really bad. And it just comes and goes. It never goes completely away, ever. But it seems like there are days that it's just really bad. And it doesn't matter what you try, and all these people with all these so-called remedies or self-help or whatever. Yes, and I'll agree, it works for a while, but it just doesn't seemingly, they become immune after maybe like a day or two. I mean, after all, it is nanotechnology, and there's an artificial intelligence built into them, and it only makes sense. But did I tell you that this Christmas, like, we were getting on the plane at TSA, and a lady sneezed behind us going through TSA in Houston. And I mean, I looked at her because she sneezed like right on me and over my shoulder, and my daughter was in front of me. And I looked at her, and her nose was just like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer red. Her eyes were watering. You could tell she felt horrible. I mean, just absolutely horrible. You could just see it in her. And I'm not kidding, like 30 seconds, maybe, if that went by. And next thing you know, my daughter is sneezing, coughing. We're not even on the plane yet to leave for Oregon. Then next thing you know, the lady in front of my daughter is doing the same thing. And it was like, I've never in my life actually witnessed a virus being contagious literally in front of my eyes, like in live mode. It was a ripple effect. It was just the most weirdest, strangest thing I've ever seen. You get on the airplane, and as we're going to our seat and we boarded towards the end, the whole plane is just sniffling, eyes are red, they're coughing. It was horrible. And I mean, I like that woman behind us was the second that it spread. It's like I got to witness firsthand the beginning to the end. Now, granted, I know she got it from someone else, but not there at that moment. She's the one that spread it to the entire airport. And what I heard was everyone was sick over Christmas. But it gets better. So my daughter, she can't pop her ears. She's so congested. She's crying. I mean, the altitude's killing her, and anyone that's ever flown with a cold knows how that feels. And I have small ear canals, which means poor listening skills, and you're welcome. But so she was in pain. I understood her pain. We get here, and it starts with my daughter gets sick, my other daughter. Keep in mind, 4 girls. And then right after that, the second daughter gets sick. Right after that, the third daughter gets sick. Right after that, the fourth daughter gets sick. Right after that, all of the guys get sick, and all of the grandbabies get sick. And guess who didn't get sick this entire time? Just take a wild guess. That was me. Why? Try to explain that to the ones that you hold close and that you're nearest and dearest. They are to you. You can't say, well, it's because my body's a host and these mother truckers do not want me getting sick. Because if I got sick, they couldn't eat, and I'm food supply. I mean, what do you say, right? My daughter kept saying, especially my second to the oldest, Sheridan, she kept saying, I cannot believe you have not gotten sick yet. And I'm like, I know, right? It's so strange. Or believe it, baby, because, but for years and years, I've been trying to tell them, and it's like in one ear and out the other. And with that said, I think y'all know what I mean. And I know Candy knows what I mean, right, Candy?
Yeah. Well, listen, when me and my daughter went to Puerto Rico, right, we were with each other like 100% of the time on the airplane. It was tight squeeze, 3 people in a seat. Me and her like right there sitting next to each other. We come back, she got COVID. I didn't get it. I'm like,
Well, they say I had COVID. To this day, your hair doesn't fall out with COVID. Your hair falls out with radiation poisoning. So, but everything's COVID to them. If you go to the ER anywhere, they're going to call everything COVID at this point. And I think COVID is just bullshit anyway. I mean, it's certainly a biohazard or something like that. You guys know that I have to code my wording, but right, Candy? Like, my mom and dad had COVID. My sister and brother, everyone in my family had COVID. Guess who didn't get it? Me. Now they lift the the mask mandate and everything out, the quarantine, and for going on the second year, and I just barely got what they called COVID, which was so weird because it sure as hell didn't feel. I wasn't coughing. I wasn't congested. Nothing like that. I was dizzy. My equilibrium was off. I would stand up and immediately pass a blackout, and I catch myself right when I hit the floor. I'd come to, because I didn't pass out all the way. But I mean, I'm seeing those bleeps of stars, like you do when you black out. And then it just kept going, and I felt horrible. I wasn't nauseous. There was no cold. There was no sniffles. There was no coughing. I just knew my body was literally, it felt like radiation poisoning, literally. And I told you, I sat out that day with the sun coming down, and the sun that was awfully close and very bright white, and a cell phone tower directly below that. So between the two, they're like, nobody's going to convince me, because I went outside, I was fine. I walked inside my door, and I mean, it was like bam, like instantaneously, I was sick as could be. And then my hair starts falling out, and that's just like I'm shedding a little, like in clumps, like you're holding this massive hair in your hand, and it's like from the root down. It's, you just know, and it's all like from one area, and then just kept coming out. And again, I think I lost probably 60% of my hair mass within an instant of going outside and sitting momentarily on my porch. And I was so sick, of course, I mean, I felt like I was dying, I'm not kidding. And my mom and dad were like, you need to get to the ER. And I go there, and I told you, they shoved that swab up my nose without even asking me. Now, keep in mind, I had no idea. I was there for what I thought was something different. And I'm sitting there, and they take me back to this room, and they're taking blood out of my arm. So I got one woman on this side taking blood, and this other woman, like on this side, but she was doing something different. So I thought, next thing you know, they got this long ass nasal swab, and just up to my brain almost. My eyeballs watered. I mean, I smacked her. I smacked her hand and everything. I hit it out. I said, what do you think you're doing? Don't you think you should probably warn someone or tell someone that you're getting ready to do that? I said, how dare you? And she's like, well, we're authorized and told that we have to, test everyone for COVID while they're here. I'm like, well, I was just here in April with sepsis and pneumonia, and y'all didn't do that crap to me. And number two, first and foremost, if you're going to do something like that, tell someone so that they can at least be prepared. Don't let them get blood drawn on this side and then shove this huge long thing. And by the way, did they not say that they weren't doing that anymore, like having to go so far up with the swabs? I mean, I was furious, because we know there's cotton on the end of those swabs. We know what is in that cotton. We watch the fibers move around all the time. She doesn't just go up to my nostril unexpectedly. She goes up to my freaking eyeballs and brain unexpectedly, to where I'm tearing up. And it was just miserable. And I became so much sicker even after that. And I mean, I think 5 minutes went past. I went into this other room with a bunch of other sick patients that looked like they were sick, and they were coughing and snot and everything. I'm the only one that's not. And I get called back, and they're like, well, he pulls his mask up, even though he didn't pull it up till after I got in the room. He goes, it's a sad thing to tell you, but you got COVID. And I'm thinking, you just had your mask down before I even sat down. I sat down, and then you pulled it up, and you're telling me I have COVID. And I'm the only one not coughing or snotting. It's bull crap. It's so much bull crap. I'm so tired of the bull crap. I'm so tired of the lies. And I'm so tired of these conditioned medical practitioners that took an oath to first do no harm. Yet they won't treat us for Morgellons disease. They will shove a freaking rod up your nostril in 2.3 seconds without your knowledge or your agreement on that. But they won't do anything other than put you in a cuckoo house, or tell you have COVID, slap you on your back and your backside, say you're welcome, and you can have another. I mean, that's pretty much how it goes. I don't know if there's any of you out there that have similar experiences, but I'm willing to bet there's a majority out there that does.
Yeah. Well, when my lung collapsed that time, and I told you my thing on my bed, it wouldn't let me lift it or anything like that. And I was like, I was so uncomfortable. I was in so much pain. And she comes in there, the nurse came in there, and she was already PO'd at me anyway. And she told me she's going to have to swab me. So I'm like, oh, okay. I swear to God, I know she was mad at me. She shoved it so far up my I just thought I was going to die. I grabbed her hand and I yanked it out. And I was like, because I couldn't breathe. And I was like, I was in so much pain, snot's running out of my nose. She's shoving a swab up inside of it. And I'm like, I yanked it out. I was like, God, man, why did they have to push it so far up in there?
Woman didn't even know me from Adam, but she acted angry and just to
Mm.
like side swipe me, basically because she had nothing to do with me when I walked in and sat down for the blood work. She was over in her own little dang cubby, and then it was like, bam, you're welcome. You didn't need that brain or eyeball, did you? I mean, or the
Hey,
nostril.
where's your face? Where's your face? I'm up here
I
solo.
get off so that yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I did that. It was
Yeah.
Argo says I never get sick, or never get sick or got any of the tests. And praise the Lord, whatever you do, don't go to the doctor. They will sideswipe your nostril hole just as quick, like a Wild West nostril swipe. Let me tell you. I mean, like literally, I thought we were getting ready to have a duel, except for mine was going to be with my fists.
Well, like I told you too, that last time when I had that stuff went septic in my organs and stuff, I kept
Mm-hmm.
telling him, y'all need to
Mine, yeah.
culture this mucus. You need to culture this mucus. Then he threw it in the damn trash. And I'm like, oh my God, why don't y'all just listen to the patients, Just
That's
listen. We know what we're feeling.
that would be too easy. We gotta overthink it. We gotta do some tests. We gotta get our little microscopes out. We gotta look at the little thing down below in the sample, and then we gotta swish it in with some other juices and swish it some more and put it in a blender and call it COVID.
And
That's
guess what? And guess what? If they would have never cultured that mucus, they would have
you know
never figured out what was wrong with me because they finally came in and I was gagging trying to do a test. And I was like,
Morgellons.
you need to culture this mucus. And so the pulmonary therapist had the mucus cultured. And then that's when they found that influenza mophiphilus.
Yeah. You'll
Because
see.
I can never pronounce that.
Pneumonia before your episode. You know what I find funny? They never tested for literally anything aside of just those two things. And nobody ever, like, you don't come down with sepsis and pneumonia and your blood gelling over and odd colored overnight just for no reason. I find it like, I don't find it funny. I find it insulting, belittling, and actually cruel that someone can be so sick and they go to a computer and they punch a few buttons, and then the output comes a few suggestions of answers, and then you narrow it down, and then you push a few buttons, and then all of a sudden, bam, well, you have sepsis and pneumonia. And they go off a computer where their own eyeballs never even freaking looked. And that kind of goes back to what I've been saying about the whole world and freaking trees that are your mountains, that are your buttes, that are your bluffs, that are your mesas, that are your valleys, and that are your ass if you don't listen. So nothing's changed in my mind. I'm just amazed how programmed and controlled not only society is, but especially, most especially, our doctors, our lawyers, our nurses, our anyone that has to go and get a college education, being those that can only make good money because they did so, means they just extended their training and conditioning. And congratulations, we'll pay you more because you're doing exactly as we say, which is not your job, by the way. It's just puppeteering what we told you to do. And it's disgusting. And I'm tired of it. I'm so sick of it. It started with Morgellons, which the title being Morgellons and the Awakening Process, and the whole thing that goes with it. I started with this. This was the first thing I noticed, but it was like a ripple effect. I realized that happened. The next thing you know, I realized our freaking history is a lie. You start reading up on that, and where history was really a boring subject to me, it's the most fascinating thing ever. Like, look into archaeology. I'm like, that's a freaking lie. Look into geology. That's a freaking lie. You look into biology. That's a freaking lie. All these things, like, it was like one thing after the other, to where I'm like well past the point of like Morgellons disease, the only thing I can think of. In fact, I probably thought of that for like maybe a New York second compared to most, but it wasn't because I was disregarding it. It was because I was realizing that Morgellons disease is a very small piece of an absolutely gigantic, evil, corrupt puzzle. I mean, that's the only way I can put it. So call me crazy. It wouldn't be the first time, I assure you. And I've been taken to the crazy house. By the way, it sucks, especially whenever you don't know how you got there and don't know how you got in their clothing. You know, it's only male workers there. I mean, you know, you feel a little, just a little disrespected, and you almost feel molested because you're in this place with no memory, knowing that there's just male workers, and you're knowing that you told the truth, and your whole world, every human right, bam, gone, taken away from you. You can't even choose if you want to drink, if you want to eat. If
Ah, you there?
my mother always has to call. I'm in Oregon, okay? Like I'm visiting my kids' mom. I talk to my kids. Well, they talk to me maybe once a month. She's like every 15 minutes, and I live literally not even a quarter mile down the road from her. But I'm here visiting, and it's just nonstop. I love my mom. I am so grateful she's still here. So I am not going to complain. But I am going to say 15 minutes every 15 minutes is a little much because you can't get much done with your life when that happens. But it's okay because life is short. And I just wish my kids would look at me and think of me that way, you know, and think, wow, maybe we should talk to mom. But, you know, ain't going to happen, Captain. So it's okay. It's all right. I did my job. We did our jobs. We raised our kids to the best of our abilities. We love them unconditionally. And one day, either this world will see it that way or they won't, right? But at least we can like go out in peace and knowing that we loved the biggest portion with all of our hearts, all of our lives, and unconditionally. So
Well, you know what, too? And like I was telling you, my oldest daughter, just in the last few years, probably 4 or 5 years, it's like all of a sudden, it's like she had this like it's
you're
like
my
awakening or
grandma. Yeah,
something. She
yes.
put she puts me up on a pedestal, you know, and
I
I
think
mean,
that is absolutely amazing. And I wish, hope, dream, cross my fingers every day. And I don't want to be that on the pedestal, but you know what I mean? Like just for her to like, you know how you were treated for so long, right?
mm,
What an
yeah.
amazing accomplishment that she has actually gained by being able to see the true biggest beautiful value in her own mother. And I mean, she's blessed because she has you and she knows it. And I'm proud of your daughter too, let me tell you. But I'm
No, I
proud of.
tell you, it was no greater moment when she told me, she's like, yeah, she's like, I tell everybody, like my crazy ass mama's like my best friend. I tell her everything.
I love that. You know what? I'm not gonna never say never, they say, right? So
Yeah.
either way, I know that I raised my kids with love and thoughtfulness and consideration for others and mannerisms and, you know, please, thank you, hold the door open for others, you know, don't be selfish, chew with your mouth, all everything a good parent does. I did, you know, and I did it alone. And if they want to think me the crazy one because you know nobody wakes up crazy one day, they don't be like I'm normal tax-paying citizen driving my kids to school, driving the school bus, driving the little short bus, driving it all bus, going to this, going to that, parent meetings, you know, all their plays, never missed a ball game, never missed a play, never missed anything. I practice, I coach their practice, I coach the practices and the balls. And I just find it mind blowing that they really believe that all of a sudden that same woman could all of a sudden just wake up that crap crazy and say, there's something going on with my body that I am not understanding. I am seeing things moving around that should not move around. I am watching thread like material shoot into my body. I am watching it move. And then also, yeah, you need to go get my mom. We're going to raise my little sister. We're all adults now anyway. We don't care about her, but my sister's going to be way better off. So that's how my daughter got to, my little one, my youngest, got to learn all about the birds and the bees by child services coming in and showing her the doll, saying, now this is this part, that's that. And have you ever seen this and that? And I'm just like, what? Like this child is still playing doll with dolls, you know, at 11 years old, at, you know, and this was earlier, but like so innocent, such an innocent little mind, so loving, so like non-corrupt. I wouldn't say sheltered, but I would say I purposely did not subject her to the world's ways. I loved her. My job was to protect her as a mother. So to have my older daughters call and have that done and take her innocence away and literally my hand, I can't go in there while she's being questioned, and I'm like kept from my child in another room, like, you taking any medicine, let me count your vitamin B tablets. I mean, it was just, how dare not just them, but these people be able to come into my home or anyone's home. And anyone of you that's ever dealt with that, there are people out there that do not deserve their children. By all means, they do not love them. They are abused, they are unkept, they are uncared for, they are slandered, shunned, dismissed, and thrown out like garbage. But when you have a person that has been nothing but a mother their entire lives, a good one, never had any calls before, and they wake up one day with an illness that can't be explained, just kind of like fibromyalgia couldn't be explained at one time, or Lyme disease couldn't be explained, which, by the way, has no bearing on Morgellons, but all these things, because they decide in their own little itty bitty pea brain minds as doctors that they punched in a code and says, yeah, she batshit crazy, that you can come into my home, you can convince my children, you convince my family, everyone I know and love, all my friends, you can convince them that, yeah, she woke up one day and she's crazy. She's crazy. There's no way this could ever exist. Well, let me tell you what, sunshines. There was no way you said fibromyalgia could exist. There was no way cancer could exist. There was no way AIDS could exist. There was no way this and there was no way that. And how dare you come into my home and take the innocence of my child and take my own human rights away, especially when you hauled me off to a loony house for 3 days and I got naked and didn't even know it, and got dressed and didn't even know it. How freaking dare you? First, do no harm. You will be judged. You will be judged. All of you will be judged. But the problem is, we want to protect our loved ones. We don't want them to have to be punished. We don't want them to have to be judged by God. We love them that much and that selflessly that we would do anything to protect them from the evil we've had to go through, at the hands of our own government, our own nation, our own citizens, our own doctors, our own family. It sucks. It's not fair. It's not cool. It's not nice. And quite honestly, we are freaking warriors because we have seen the depths of hell at the hands of other humans, and that's the worst part. It's the worst part. I'm done with my rant, but it was definitely coming.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there listening to you, and I'm like, I mean, I was looking back on some of my old photos today, and I ran across like a collage of your pictures of your face and all the stuff
Yeah.
on your neck. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at yours, I'm looking at mine. I'm like, oh my God,
I mean, they were looking
how?
at me too, right? They were
How?
looking too. Sorry, guys, I did not mean to do that. Um,
Lisa. So, oh, there I am again. But anyway, I don't know what happened to Lisa, but I'm just saying, I was looking back and I'm seeing all these old pictures of mine and Lisa's, and I'm like, oh, dear God in heaven, how can we possibly be that physically brutalized
yeah,
and our own families pass us off as we're making it up or we're doing it to ourselves or we're just batshit crazy? I'm like,
yeah,
how you cannot see? I mean, I'm like, if like I said, I look back and I'm thankful. I'm so thankful to God, how much physically better I am. My face is great. I've still got lumps in here now that's like deep up underneath the skin, but my legs are clear. Yeah, I get little rashes, I get little issues, but oh, Jesus, again,
mhm,
when I look back and I'm like, man, I was so massively physically damaged, like on a brutal level. And
yeah,
how can you be laughed at and mocked at by your family? I just don't get it. Or anybody, but
yeah.
especially your family, you know?
I mean, that's the worst. Yeah, that's the worst part. I just, I'm right there with you. I just don't.
And two, another thing too that really grinds my gears, so to speak, is when these people with Morgellons, it's like, oh, we're gonna get the CDC to recognize this. we're going to get this where people can start getting disability. We're going to get this recognized. You know what? If you think for 1 second ever they're going to ever admit to this, it is not ever going to
It'll never
happen. And
happen.
you're kidding
Why
yourself.
would they admit to something that they have been behind? And by the way, why else would we have a CDC? Where did that come from? Let's think about it. You keep in mind that it's the Center for Disease Control, or is it actually the Center for Disease Evaluation? They get to see up close and personal what the bio weapons that they have put out. Well, that's the first place people flocked to, me being one of them when this happened, because doctors sure as heck weren't listening, hospitals weren't listening, urgent care wasn't listening, nobody was listening. But I knew, your body you know better than anything else on earth, because you have had that body from the moment you came to be. So where do you go? CDC. Well, I sat there 17 hours to be seen, all to be mocked at, laughed, and tried to literally put me away again. But I wised up and I hauled ass as quick as I could. And I just couldn't believe what was going on. And then it hit me. These mother truckers, I sat beside these actual people with AIDS and the worst diseases, like the ultimately worst diseases that anyone could have. For 17 hours, I looked around at these poor, suffering people, so sick with every type of disease, quote unquote, that you can imagine. And I realized this is just an evaluation center to see how their little infant child is progressing, how it's doing in the human body.
Data
That's all
collection.
it is. That's what
Yeah,
that CDC is for.
that's it.
It's not
Hey,
your friend.
Center for Disease Collection.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you betcha. It literally is
And
not what you
again,
think. They're not here for us. They're here to evaluate their brain babies. And
yeah,
all
and
of these diseases, as far as I'm concerned, as of about 7 years ago, are all their brain babies. And that includes COVID, because that was made in a flippin', oh yeah, I can't say this, but it was in, a LAB in, oh, I used to,
Woohoo.
no, we were stationed in
Woohoo.
Virginia Beach. So LA,
Woohoo.
yeah, I was stationed in Virginia Beach. That's where that was made. It was not in China. Says what? I literally got to go this because they'll stop it. So,
Taiwan.
I mean, literally, it wasn't made in Taiwan. It wasn't made in China. It was made in Val Beach, Virginia, by a little group of scientists. And this I do know. Nobody's going. I mean, I know. Like, they're like, it's not even a guess. I know. We'll just leave it at that. That's where it was made. But China gets blamed for everything. But it don't matter, because they're all in cahoots together. And trust me, this is perfectly orchestrated to their liking, and exactly so as to how they wanted this all to go down. Because the new world's order up, I'm going to order some fast food, actually has been here for much longer than anyone realizes. So much longer. I mean,
Yeah, well,
we're
I
not really
told you.
divided. We're all one. We just didn't know it. The little people didn't know
I
it. That's
told
all.
you. Back in the 70s, my dad's going to college and they were teaching them about this. He came home, he told us about it. In my own ignorance, because I was wanting to escape the abuse, I'm walking around in the yard. I'm like maybe 10, 11 years old. New World Order, New World Order. Because I was wanting them to come because I
And
was like,
see, and I actually am working on a video right now as we speak. I've been working on it much longer than the
I was
ancient
rooting
tree
for
one that
them.
I just put out. But I mean, I got you don't know how many videos I've got taken down because I was talking about the new that order. Okay, like they have actually taken my videos. I've got strikes. I've received strikes. They almost removed this platform. I've already had one removed, or had so many subscribers, and they removed that one. But for talking about that, and then there's always a blurb right under. Go ahead and click on my the one with the Illuminati card game, any of those. Click on that and see what it says. There's a little blur right below it that says New World Order is a conspiracy theory. Yet, and trust me, again, I'm working on this. We got freaking like Kennedy talking about it. We got Carter talking about it. We have Reagan talking about it. We have Bush talking about it. We have Trump talking about it. We have everyone talking about the New World Order. And as soon as the guidestones were knocked down too, again, oh, a new world order. And then I get this little blurb, New World Order is a conspiracy, blah, 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 blah. And our ignoramus butt talks. Sorry, I'm trying to control my anger. I want to say, donkey butts. We're like, yeah, condition us some more. Yeah, that's what happened. We was never existent. No, Then you can show videos. I can show videos to my whole family, well, to all of my non-existent friends, because everyone vacated my life as soon as I started speaking up and out. And they'll just be like, oh yeah, see that's crazy. How did they know that in the 90s? And there's their twin towers are getting the airplane flying through them, and that car was in the 90s, and that happened in 2000 and what? Yeah, no, it's okay though. And then they're like, forget about it. Like, it was just a coincidence. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, have you ever seen the YouTube videos where they fold the dollar bills and you can actually see the different?
Yeah, I've actually done it.
9/11. Yeah,
the Twin Towers and the flames and everything. You bet.
So how long?
I mean,
how long those dollar bills and those 20s and those 10s been out there? You fold those up.
Thank you.
The towers, the
it shouldn't
Pentagon.
take a genius to understand that the money you're spending, especially a $1 bill, because we're all pretty much broke, so that's probably all we got. It's a $1 bill. It's got a pyramid. There's certain amounts of those bricks in that pyramid.
There's that one eye in the center. There's that one eye in the center.
But yeah, in God we trust. Yeah, but that's the wrong God, guys. The God that has been entrusted to has never been the God that God's your creator. And yet people spend it. Don't even blink an eye. Oh, there's a pyramid with an eyeball. I'll see an eye horse. It's just looking at me. Okay, how much is that gonna be? $4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm the one crazy. I'm crazy.
Hey, why do you think?
What the crap?
Why do you think they're trying to like print all new bills now and get rid of the old ones? Because the old ones, when you fold them up,
yeah,
you can see those things.
No, I mean I don't think they're getting rid of it because of that, because they give subtle hints all the time, and these new ones, I think it's just gonna be new subtle hints, is what I think.
They took out the Georgia Guidestones, so guess what? If they're not there, it didn't happen.
Well, that's because I think they took Georgia Guidestones out because we outgrew that.
It's like Aunt Jemima. It's like if it's not there, it never happened.
Well, that's true. I mean, I wish I could close my eyes and say this whole mess could go away, right?
Hey,
I mean, honestly, though, I think that the Georgia Guidestones was taken out because we outgrew. Well, the sun has shifted, our Earth's axis has shifted, so nothing aligns anymore with it, because the Guidestones were actually made for the solar alignment.
But that was a plan. That was a planned event, because guess what? Yeah. You got to know that they had security. They had ways of protecting that. So if it was somebody that did it,
everyone knows that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was.
But I mean, also the solar alignment was no longer. It was no longer there. It was no longer of service to those in charge. But you betcha, and these new dollar bills that are coming out, I promise you, you're gonna be able to fold them too and see what's coming. I guarantee, because there's a little bit of hint of truth in everything.
Well, you know what? Maybe next podcast we do, I'll have the old dollar bills folded up, the ones, the 5s, the 10s, the 20s, and the 100s, and we'll show them exactly what it is.
Yeah, and if you guys are listening right now, go ahead and just do that. And if you don't know how to fold it, just Google it. I mean, that's one thing that they might tell you the truth on, actually.
That's what I did when I heard about it. I Googled it up. I was like, I sat there and I folded them up. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's true.
Are you boys wanting some cereal? Say hi.
Hi.
That's my little grand muffin.
Hi there.
Hi. So this is going to be on TV, so we're famous. Totally famous. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to have to wrap up because I do have both of these little guys here. And where's Luca? I got one in bed already? Okay. So, yeah, I got to go get them some milk and cereal. Late here, but Luca. My name is Luca.
Luca, you know what? My grandson, the baby that I told you about, was all over the place. His name is Lucas.
Yeah. No, that was the first thing I realized when you told me you had a Lucas. I'm like, I got a Luca. Knock the S off. Yeah, I've got a Luca and a Leighton. So first 2 boys, and after I had 4 girls, my oldest she was my hard child. And I kept telling her, I'm like, you're going to get 3 times what you gave me. And she got two little boy earth angels, except for I guess I'm starting to give her a little bit of heck, and I'm like, yes, finally. So, but they're earth angels to me. They're amazing boys. I love them so much. And I'm sad that they have to deal with the crap in this world and grow up in it. But I know that if equipped with the right tools, maybe, just maybe, they can battle it, a heck of a lot better than we did, because we never saw this coming. So, but yeah, kind of that. And I didn't, wow, I forgot that I'm going to go down slowly here and show the comments, because I forgot this StreamYard does not work like Restream.
Yeah, it's
So
made me see them.
I have to actually like hit them. But when you're blind and you're looking at it like a 4-inch cell phone screen, it's a little difficult. And when your googly eyes don't help. So I hope you guys can see these. I'm going through them quick. Just because I got some little boys in there that I'm leaving in 3 days, and I want to go hug them and spend a little bit of time with them. I just drove back up here today.
Like my very own, like that old cartoon. Hug him and love him and squeeze him.
Hug him and kiss him and call him George too, or Luca. So, but I don't know if you guys can see it. Sorry, I'm in my daughter's room again, but can you guys see all of the, are they showing up? I hope they are. So, and Gator Sky stopped by too. And Gator, I love you. You guys, I'm going to tell you again, go check out Gator, Gator Sky Expedition. He's got some crazy, he's my guy, he's my boy from New Mexico. But he's got some crazy, insane cloud sky video footage, and he's an excellent artist with the guitar and electric guitar. And go check out Connie's page, and go check out Kim Blanchard's channel. Anyone that's on here, go check out their channels, because more than likely, if they're here, well, they got something good to offer as well. And I mean, just please, first and foremost, always keep an open mind and never say never, because come to find out, anything in and everything is possible, because, well, with God, all things are possible, but we're never the ones to decide what is and what isn't. It was never our own decision. So all these people playing God are going to have to answer for that one day, especially the ones that put me in a little freaking white jacket with no sleeves and a cute little belt. They're going to really have to answer for that one day. I'm just saying. So yeah, but that's in the past, but sometimes I bring it forward just to remind everyone that, yeah, these people are not nice, and they're not your friend, and they're never going to admit to any of this. So just keep that in mind. But also remember, our numbers are bigger. There's more of us than there are of them, and I just don't know why people can't see that. I mean, do they like being bossed around? Do they like being robotic? Do they really think they're free? This is the home of the free and the land of the brave, or is it, the home of the dummies and the land of the slaves? And I'm kind of going with that one right now. I'm just putting that out there. So yeah, with that said, Candy, I love you. I'm gonna have to get off. You guys, all of you, love you so much. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And I also want to encourage you real quick. Candy, I was talking about this earlier. If you guys are watching this, please, 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 there's Candy and I get nothing from, like, there's no monetary funding behind it. We're not monetized. But what happens if you just hit the like button or leave a comment? I don't care if you're like, you guys are stupid. I don't care. Okay? But if you hit the like button or a comment or share it, especially, we'll never get money from it because of my content, and we're not looking for money. What we're looking for is awareness and the world to be aware. So if you could just at least just do that, please and thank you. Again, this is not for selfish reasons. This is for some really, really big, important, unselfish reasons, because the world needs to know. It's for their own safety, their own hearts and minds and bodies and souls. And so again, if it's not too much to ask, just hit the like button or share it or just leave a comment or just an emoji. I don't care what, but it makes YouTube be more inclined to share our podcasts and our content with the world. to where maybe there's someone out there that isn't aware of this, and they stumble across it, and it might open their eyes and save their souls or help. We're not going to save any souls, but at least we can contribute towards that, ultimate goal. So that's all we're asking. It's not like there's any fame from this. This is like, I'm such a busy woman. Candy's so busy. We have things to do, but you know what? We always put our time aside to do this, no matter what, with nothing that we get in return other than the love that we have for the human race and the humankind, and we do it selflessly with love. So if you could just do that, just that little bit, that would be the greatest bit that anyone could ever give. So to put it in layman's terms, or they're Lisa's terms. So, all right, guys. Love you, Candy. Anything else? One more thing? Anything you want to add?
Love you too. Enjoy your time with those grandbabies.
Oh, yeah.
I know I had fun with mine
It's
3 days
late
in a row.
here, but their mom and dad's out right now. So they're going to go get some Fruity Pebbles and some chocolate milk at like 10 o'clock here. So shh, don't tell. Yeah, maybe I am crazy. No, I just love them and I can't wait. So, all right, guys. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Good night, everybody. Bye now.